Would you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this great day that you've given us. Thank you for the blessings of life that are ours. May we serve you well through the avenues of business. May you bless this food to our body's use. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
Hey, Fred, let's stay up there. Let's make them sing while they're here today. Everybody knows smile. We can smile today a little bit. Anybody birthdays?
Do we have any birthdays?
No birthdays? Hey, did you go ahead and turn 59? Yeah.
Wow, they never treat me that way normally.
We have guests, Fred.
That's right.
Thank you.
I'd just like to take a minute and welcome everyone from Kiwanis that's here. We certainly appreciate you guys sharing a meeting with us. This has worked out really well today, so thanks for being here. I'm going to skip our Sergeant at Arms report since our Sergeant at Arms is not here, and I'm going to turn it over to Jesse Klein, who's our Rotarian of the day.
Well, if you don't know what our program is about, you're blind. So I was contacted by a good, I guess it's former Albanite, that, where do you live now? Norman. So Matt Rhodes and his family, I've known them for a long time. He contacted me about the program that OGE instituted on a residential level and is now doing on a commercial level, and they're here to talk about it. I'll let Matt introduce who he's brought with him, and welcome Matt Rhodes.
Today, my counterpart and I, Spencer Brown, we kind of talked about the SmartHours program.
Could you turn your mic?
Oh, I'm sorry. So Spencer Brown is my counterpart. We're here to talk about the SmartHours program. It's a program that a lot of us know that we see on the commercials and we know a little bit about. And up until, I don't know, probably 6 months ago, I myself didn't really pay that much attention. But as you know, our electric company is trying to advance into the future and doing things that benefits our customers. We've put this program on, and I kind of teamed up with him and some of the marketing people to help. And when I initially talked to Kelly Parker about some of this and the city and started thinking about the commercial and the savings that not only commercial but residential could get. It was apparent that in Alva, since I'm from here and I know this town and everybody, I know that it would help you all as much as it helps us also in the transitioning through our peak times and saving things for us and the customers as rates go up. We don't have to build a power plant, and we can work with our customers to make it a better rate and a better place for all of us. So Spencer's gonna come in and we're gonna go through a slideshow we put together on PowerPoint. And
Are you plugged in, Matt?
here you go.
Hello, everyone. As Matt stated, my name is Spencer Brown. I work for the marketing department at OGE. Today, I'm primarily here to speak about SmartHours, but before doing so, I'd like to kind of share with you our 2020 goal. Our 2020 goal states that we're going to delay in building additional incremental fossil fuel power generation until at least the year 2020. So what does that mean? And why are we doing this? Between the hours of 2 to 7, Monday through Friday, is when our system gets hit the hardest. So when we have to, when we get hit so hard that we must reduce that load from our system, or we need to be more energy efficient with our HVACs, with our chillers, with our lighting. So this is why it's important for us to do that. And then also, Matt had mentioned to me on the way up here that it's going to cost about $300 million. And so for us to have to build another power plant, go through a rate case, it's going to cost us that much. And then also it trickles down, and it trickles down to us, the customer. You know, and so we've come up with these different programs, and it's what we're calling positive energy together. So we're wanting to work with our customers, our residents, our businesses to achieve this goal. We've done so through our various programs. We call it our three-legged stool. We have wind power, we have energy efficiency programs, and then we have SmartHours. And just on the way, Matt told me everything about Alva. I feel like I know as much as I need to know. He also sent me on a tour, showed me where he grew up, told me about the prison camp back in the 1930s that's by the airport. Yeah, so it was pretty awesome. But we also passed a wind farm. And you know, I hear about all these wind farms, you know, I talk about it to customers, but I actually got to physically see one. Where was it?
It's when you exit off at Blackwell and you start heading west. That's actually, it's a wind farm that we use, and that's one of the wind farms that helps OSU. We have the wind farm at OU, Spirit, which is out by Woodward, and then we have the OSU, and both of them combine. And we have a slide here that shows the numbers, but they both combine. OU Spirit takes care of OU campus, and the OSU takes care of majority of the OSU campus. So they've been, you know, converted to wind power. And you know, my personal experience, I worked at the warehouse level, and I took care of Centennial, which is at Fort Supply, which is ours, and then I worked at OU Spirit, which is also ours, and I worked at Crossroads. And the wind farms there until, you know, you're there, and you know, being with OG&E, I never really went out there. Or, you know, we always had different tasks and everything else going. You know, when I was a lineman, we never really went out there that much. But being out there, you see what it takes and what happens whenever the wind blows, we generate electricity, we save that, and then our customers get that. I have been in supply chain for about 4 years now, and I've worked at Mustang Power Plant, which is our oldest, I believe. And then I've been at the wind farms. I've worked at McLean Power Plant. And you see the age of some of these, like Mustang. I mean, it's since, you know, the Second World War, that thing has been going. And we're introducing solar there now. And it's helping. But the wind farms, until you really see it, it's amazing how the wind blows, as we know, all the time here. And for us to actually come up with, you know, the capabilities to get that and to put to our customers, so that on these peak days, or on the days when we're in the peak and it's summer and it's 114 degrees, that can help out. And that's one thing in SmartHours, you know, everybody managing, so we don't have to go in links to build a power plant that's $300 million.
Thank you. And then also, we have partners. I know Matt, he also told me about his glory days in high school playing football and whatnot.
Now you want the real.
I told him not to bring that up. I said it was so much glamorous in, 93 to 97. Corey, be quiet. Don't say a word, Corey.
So, we partnered with OU and OSU so they would become the first universities that got their own wind farms. Both OU and OSU have over 70% of their campuses served by wind power. Ranked 1 in the Big 12 with Iowa State, and 3rd, I guess, in the whole the National League. And also, Thunder was the first NBA team to have all of their games and practices served by wind power. It's pretty neat. All right, so let's transition into our energy efficiency programs. We have about 51,000 customers. That's about 64 megawatts, and it's about 27,000 homes. Our energy efficiency programs over the last 3 years has accomplished some amazing things. In the last eight years, OG&E has weatherized almost 27,000 homes of our lower income customers, almost saving $60 million with these customers. The programs for our residential customers are, we have a weatherization program, we have a heat program, we have geothermal, we have positive energy home. In the last 3 years, these programs have provided 109 million kWh savings. And if you mind sharing your story about the weatherization.
The heat program, I didn't know anything about it. I mean, we get mail, OG&E mail all the time. Stuff's always coming in just for us to look at, and I mean, I'll be honest with you, don't always do we, pay attention to everything. Last summer, the capacitor went out on my air conditioner at home, and so I called a friend, and he had an air conditioning company come over, and he seen my OG&E truck in the driveway, and so he fixes the capacitor, and he says, "Hey, have you ever heard of the heat program?" And I said, "No." And he said, "No." He said, "It's a great program." And I said, "I'll look. I'll look it up." He said, "I'll tell you what it is." He said, "We have the heat program, which we are a contractor for OG&E, and we can come out and service your air conditioner, do a tune-up, check the freon, filters, all of that stuff." They end up cleaning out my air conditioning unit, everything, and it was a free. It was not a rebate, but it's free. You get online and you click on the right side of the screen, you go into the heap, and you sign up for it. And what they do is they come out and they do, we all laugh. Jason White, he does the air comfort solutions, $99, we're going to come out, Well, OG&E has this program and it's free. It's not $99 and it's not $100. It's you sign up for it, and they have someone come out and they do an analysis, on your system. So that's just a program that, I didn't, so then that's what really started my thing, the looking, and hey, what else do you know? And then, my wife was like, "Hey, you have another, envelope come in and from OG&E," and I was like, "Okay, but it's one of the things that, for example, I didn't never, really look into and know about, and it's something that it helped me. And I mean, I've told, other of our OG&E customers about it, and they're starting to do it also.
And also, to your point, I know we joke about it that you didn't know, but there's two things that a lot of customers know about OG&E, is that they get their bill every month, and that it's too high. So one thing is, with this whole 2020 goal, another big part of it is just education. Letting customers know what they're using, why they're using it, why it's important. And I'll touch on this a little later, but we have this awesome tool called My OGE Power. It's totally free. You can go on there. You can track your usage on an hourly basis if you wanted to. Also, you're able to go on there and see, all right, so if I continue this pattern of usage, what will my bill be by the end of this month. So it's not a surprise at the end of the month. You know, if that says, well, you're projected to be at $100, then, you know, when you get your bill, you go, oh yeah, I'm ready. I can budget for it, instead of saying, oh, what am I going to do? I have a $300 bill. And it also tells you, all right, maybe I need to cut back. Or maybe I'm okay. Maybe it was okay for me to do what I've been doing. But before, like I said, I'll touch on it a little later. But our next one is commercial programs. We have some rebate programs. We have commercial lighting. We have commercial energy efficiency. And we have industrial energy efficiency. Let's see, these commercial and industrial programs have provided about 124 million kWh savings. And just a story, the FAA has replaced inefficient equipment with new, more efficient options, earning a rebate from OGE, which they've turned into wind power. This helps OKC FAA Affordable meet federal mandates. All right, so what do you want to make smart? Smart grid will enable customers to have better technology and information to make better energy decisions. OGE received 130 million DOE grants to help install smart grid in our service area. All right, and this is just what I was talking about earlier, My OGE Power. Smart Grid provides a free online tool called My OGE Power. This free tool is helpful to helping customers understand their usage. Also, on this tool, you can also see which rate works best for you. Because on the way here, you know, Matt and I were talking about our we have guaranteed flat billing, we have average monthly billing, we have SmartHours. We just have a plethora of different programs. And you know, sometimes it's like, man, when I'm pushing one program, there's another program, and it's hard for me to convince a customer to remove from a program that they like just so I can sell them another program. And so, you know, I sit there and think, you know, one of the pushbacks that I get, you know, now that I'm in my new position, I've been here about 6 months. So you're in marketing. What are you marketing? You guys basically are a monopoly, is what I hear sometimes. And I said, well, you know, from my experience, you know, being in the call center talking to customers, we offer choices. You know, that we have different programs that will meet your needs. So guaranteed flat billing, a lot of customers like that program because it helps them budget. They know exactly how much their bills are going to be each month. Customers like average monthly billing because instead of having to pay this huge summer bill, they can kind of ration it out throughout the year. Now with SmartHours, I think it's awesome because not only does the customer save and they control their savings, but it's really a collective effort. You know, I don't know if you guys have heard, like, man, if everyone could just pitch in $1, I'd be a millionaire, or I'd be rich. And the same concept kind of goes for this. If everyone can just reduce 5% of their usage during the peak hours, I believe that we could all achieve this goal. And also with SmartHours, we have, in that VPP, the results of VPP, that's variable peak pricing. So with our SmartHours program, we also, as an incentive for signing up, we give you a free programmable thermostat of $300 value. And so from this study, basically I believe the blue line shows that customers who are on this program with our thermostat attribute to the most savings during our peak hours. And let me just kind of give you an idea of what SmartHours really is. This is the price. So normally right now, just being a regular residential customer, you're paying about 10 cents per kilowatt. That's all day, every day during the summer months. Now when you're on SmartHours, it's actually a rate change. So during the hour or off-peak hours, all the hours outside of 2 to 7, Monday through Friday, you're paying a low rate of 6 cents. And that's even weekends and holidays. You're paying 6 cents regardless of what you're doing, as opposed to the 10 cents. Now during 2 to 7, that's where the price of electricity fluctuates. So we have a low, you know, it could either be at the low price of 6 cents, it could be at the standard price of 10 cents, a high price of 20 cents, critical price of 44 cents. So each day we'll notify you and we'll say, hey, tomorrow the price of electricity during the hours of 2 to 7 is going to be 6 cents. So if it's going to be 6 cents during the hours of 2 to 7, you know, one may say, hey, well, I'm not going to worry about not doing laundry between the hours of 2 to 7, or I'm not going to worry about not, you know, running my dishwasher or whatever you do during those hours. Whereas if it's up and, you know, if it's 20 cents, well, hey, I can prepare for this tomorrow instead of cooking between the hours of 2 to 7. Let's wait till 7. And I know that's hard for some. I know my wife. She said, I'm not waiting until 7 to start cooking. I don't know what's wrong with you. She actually didn't listen to me. She cooked, but I went to this tool and I said, man, I couldn't tell my wife what to do. So let me go on this tool and see how that affected us. And really, honestly, it really didn't affect us because you have to take into account that it's a whole month. So if you have a high day, it's going to take all of those 30 days, and you're already paying 6 cents on the weekends, and you're paying 6 cents on before 2 and after 7. That it's all going to, you know, pan out, and you're still going to save. And we're so, and when I say we, OGE, we're so confident that you're going to save that after your first year, if it's determined that you didn't save anything, we'll give you that money back. Now that's residential. So we also offer it to our commercial residents. But before I do so, I want to kind of break some myths or concerns that customers have. And Matt's, you know, he's really been all about this SmartHours thing, and he's been talking to people, and he kind of has some concerns that the customers have been giving him. So I'd like to answer.
So one thing that we've kind of looked at is, you know, like, especially like, I don't know, my parents, where you guys all know, my dad's, you know, like, whenever I come home, you know, I don't want to be hot. So what if, you know, I don't want to keep it at 80 degrees. And I think that's one of the myths that everybody thinks. They have to keep their house at 80 degrees or else they're not going to save money.
Right. Which is a common misconception.
Which is a common misconception.
Yeah. So you don't have to live like a Spartan. You can pre-cool, what we call pre-cool in your house. So you pre-cool, and then by the time the SmartHours hits, the peak hours, you can just turn it up a couple of degrees, you know, and or if you want to, it's up to you. The choice is yours.
You'll still be on the best buy.
Yeah, there
the
you
best
go.
build.
You have complete control over your usage. Some people will say, well, hey, if I want to save as much as I can, so I'm gonna get in there, I'm gonna shut everything down, and then when 7 o'clock comes, I'm gonna crank it back up. You know, and then some people have it down to a science. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna shut everything down, because if I do, then whenever I crank everything back up, it's gonna use so much energy that I'm gonna end up having to pay that price anyway. So it's totally your choice. And that's another thing, and I'm kind of jumping the gun, but there's another common misconception is OGE is going to control my power. OGE does not control your power. You have total control of your usage.
Whenever you want to adjust it or whatever, it's up to your, I mean, it's up to your own thing. I mean, yeah, it's your decision. It's just that if you are on the program, you get the best bill, and if you fall into that peak time and you want to adjust it back to follow, you know, the program, you can. It's just, you know, one of the things that you're in control. It's just that it depends on how you control it.
All right, so commercial, and this one can be a little difficult to explain sometimes. I actually worked in a group called the Business Advantage Group, and it was in the call center, and we just handled business customers. And so, you know, with businesses, they're more like, hey, I can't shut down anything. I'm not losing money for nothing, you know. So, you know, and it's an easier, I don't want to say sell, but it's easier to explain it to businesses who are like this restaurant or churches who most of their business, well, I don't want to say the restaurant, but mostly churches, because most of the businesses, you know, perhaps on a Wednesday night you have service. Probably won't start until about 6. Sunday, you have services on Sunday. Some denominations have it on Saturday, but all of those hours are off-peak. So during those hours, you're saving. So then during on-peak, there's minute changes that you can make, like make sure that you're turning off lights. You know, motion sensor lights are really good. Also, you know, it's really can someone just tell me where they work, or someone share with me their business and what they do?
Newspaper.
The newspaper. What are your what do you do between the hours of 2 to 7 mostly?
Mainly it's office type work.
It's office type work? Okay. So with office type work, just simple things like making sure when you leave, turn your computer off, turn off the monitors. And those things seem real minute, simple, but like I said, if everyone's doing it, if the whole state is doing it and we're conditioned to be energy efficient, then, we'll be able to not be hit as hard during the hours of 2 to 7, and we won't have to build an additional power plant until the year 2020. Now, the commercial rates are a little different. The low price is 6 cents, the standard price is 11 cents, the high price is 29 cents, and the critical price is at 49 cents.
So, when do you run your presses?
We run our press about 10 at night.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. And I know some people have flexibility, as far as with their staffing, but I can't say that for everyone. So, that's why it's hard for me to kind of just blank generalize commercial, because everyone's different. But that's perfect. Yeah. Run your presses at 10 or whatever other work you can do at that time. I do it at that time for sure. And then also, bars. That's a perfect. They're very just compatible with our program. Yeah, so that's what it says. So SmartHours pricing, go off peak and save your energy bills all summer long. Are there any questions or concerns that you guys have for us today? I know I kind of quickly went through this.
SmartHours work? I mean, does your thermostat turn your unit off like the old time it used to turn the compressor off on your air conditioner like every 30 minutes and cut it off 10 minutes or something like that?
No, it works just as your normal thermostat that you have right now. The only difference between the thermostat that we give you is that you're able to look at that thermostat and see what the price of electricity is going to be the next day.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then if you sign up, I know that they'll send texts like the day, like I talked to Melissa Graybill because she has been on it for, I think she said 2 years. And she said she likes it, and she said that the day that we started this program, actually, which was I think June 1st.
Yes,
Lynn,
June 1st.
She said she got a text message that was like, this is what kind of what the neighborhood's using, which is right around here, and this is how much the kilowatt watt is, and she said there was a text that she got, and she's like, I love it because, she's like, I work at Holders from like, whenever. She goes, so I get home at 7 and everything kicks back on, and she said, I've had a text message that tells me kind of what, went on. So.
And you can choose your notification preference, so you can either have us call you, text you, or email you.
I actually, this is more of a comment.
Okay.
I had a home inspection last week, and the house had the OGE SmartHours, and the buyers had already looked at the utilities, and they absolutely could not believe how low the utility bill was. Now they were from California, so you have to factor that in also. But at the same time, it was a big selling point for the house, and the house was on the OG&E SmartHours, so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
The text message I got yesterday for today, it says SmartHours price will be at the standard rate of 11 cents per kilowatt hour from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Thursday, June 18th.
Yeah.
So that's what
That's
I'm
a prime
paying right
example.
So it kind of just lets you know, what's coming up.
Yeah.
So.
And it's all, like I said, it's all about education and being transparent, which is one of our values. Is we want to just share with you what we're doing and what's going on, and I think that shared trust is very important, especially when when you're building relationships.
Pat, go ahead.
I just wanted to know if we're on the averaging, so I pay the same amount every month. Can you still do this?
Now the same amount every month is guaranteed flat bill.
Oh, that's
So
what I
that's
have.
perhaps what you're on. No, you're not able to be on both at the same time. Now, if you do switch to average monthly billing, you can be on average monthly billing in SmartHours, because average is just the price of your bill will kind of change each day. It's a rolling average.
Okay.
So if I'm not on SmartHours, or not on average, or not on flat bill, I'm just whatever the price is. What is that per kilowatt?
If for residential,
Yeah.
it's about 10 cents.
Okay. What is it for
commercial, I believe it's 11.5 or 12 cents.
In other words, sign up for your smart hours during, not non-peak hours, your electric bill drops to 10 cents an hour.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing too, and I know it sounds too good to be true. I mean, I've had customers say, why wouldn't anyone sign up for smart hours if that's the case?
But it does change during peak hours, it goes up to the standard rate unless it's critical or whatever.
Correct, you got it. Yeah, and also we have more literature on it. So, if you guys have any more questions or concerns, or you want to, if you leave here, you feel like you might forget it, we have some literature up here for you.
I'm just going to tell, I've had this for at least a year, and it doesn't go all year round. It stops during the winter months, and you're not in the program. They just send you deals that the program is done. I have two different units, so upstairs, downstairs. They have two different thermostats. They have, when you're in the high rate deal, there's a light on the deal that pretty much tells you that it's one of the expensive time periods so that you can do it. And they're designed in the settings on that you can put it in a conservative mode that it actually backs off your stuff. It cools your house down as much as it can, and at 2 o'clock it kicks up so that you try to ride from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock with it coming on as minimal as possible. I can't tell you, I haven't looked back to see what my bills have changed, but I like the way the system works. So.
Yeah, thank you.
I have another question. This isn't about the Smart Hours program. This is more about, your goal at 2020 is to not build a fossil fuel powered plant by that point in time. Now, if you were to build a fossil fuel powered plant, would that be natural gas fired or would that be coal fired? Or do you have any visibility to that?
Don't have any visibility to that.
I can shed like a little bit of light on that, not much. I don't know exactly, but that's not me being, like around the power plants and everything. Right now we have, and Tim knows some of this too, but because he gets out and him and the public relations guys. So we have Redbud, McLean, and Mustang that do not use. Basically we have Muskogee and Sooner, and those are our coal places. And I think that would be something that we probably will do, but I can't say that for sure. But the thing is that with us fighting the whole coal thing, I've worked at Mustang. I worked there for 8 months solid, and that thing we got to think of is that thing in the whole building and the $300 million deal. We added the solar farm, which is going to help.
Right.
We got a 2 acre and a 5 acre, and then we have one in Shawnee and Metro. So Mustang is so old that place, like I worked in the warehouse there, and we have parts from the 30s there.
Wow.
And it's one of the places that's older, and at some point, we turn that place on, and it's like, okay, here we go, guys, get ready. What people don't understand, it's like, that place has been there since the 30s. And that's how this Smart Hours deal kind of goes into this, is that we have our power plants. And whenever we don't have to pull from the Southwest Power Pool, it's, most of the time, it helps us. But when you have places like Mustang that's that old, I mean, it's like, okay, here we go, we're going to turn this baby on, and it's like an old truck, that you just keep putting parts on. But we have utilized that place, and you really got to give it up to the guys at Mustang. Those guys that's been there for 40 years working there, making things go. All because we don't really want to have to think about that right now.
Right.
And that's how this Smart Hours deal feeds into that, because if we can get our customers and us also, we got on it, Lynn's and I got on it, to work toward this, it's going to help us. And that way it kind of puts it out. So, because with all the clubs out there going at us, we're trying to do what's best, but we know that people want electricity, and we know that you got to figure out ways to get it to them. So.
There's no coal plants will not be built in the foreseeable future in Oklahoma.
I just knew that in Florida they're doing a combination solar and gas powered plants. And it just seems like combining with either wind or solar and gas powered just seems like the way to go.
As of now, with the EPA the way they are, is, and you guys have probably seen OGE and our issues with the EPA of recent. I don't think there's no coal plants are being permitted in the United States right now. I mean, they're actually building a nuclear plant now. And it's been 30 years since we've had any nuclear plants built that were permitted at least. So Coal is the EPA's take a bullseye at it, and they've shut it down for now.
Do they share sources, or does AEC and OGE and stuff like that?
AEC, no. Well, I'll let Tim, does OEC and OG&E share?
AEC.
Oh, AEC, well, cooperative, like Cherokee, like Northwest Electric.
No, OG&E, one of the things we used to wholesale electric to co-ops or other electric companies. We quit doing that because part of our plan is not to build any new generation until 2020. So we decided, look, we need that power for our customers because we are growing as a company. But as far as sharing, look, all the electric lines are connected together on the electric grid. So it's kind of hard to say you don't ever share. We've got interconnects between them so that.
What I was wondering is, does AEC have the same power source as you guys do, or?
Well, they will purchase their power from probably Western farmers would be my guess. OMPA, the Oklahoma Municipal Power Authority, the Grand River Dam Authority, and Western Farmers, and then of course you got PSO or AEP is what they're called now, and OGE. They're the only energy producers I know of in Oklahoma, except for some of the wind farms, and there's a number of them. Florida Power and Light, called NextEra now, is their name. You know, they put in a number of solar farm or windmills.
That's probably the ones you guys might see if you're going like, you know, a lot of times I would leave here and go to Centennial, which is north of Fort Supply, and Tim's up there. I mean, he's in that East area a lot. You see, and I think the misconception is like, man, is all this? Like we have two up there. It's one field basically, but it's both sides of the highway there by just north of Fort Supply, south of Buffalo. But like Tim was saying, there's Florida Power and Light, and they have a lot. That's what that's some of the first ones, right, Tim, that was up there.
They was the first one, and we purchased power from them. OG&E was the first electric utility in Oklahoma to supply wind energy to the customers.
The one at Hera is gas-fired turbines. I know my daughter worked there, and they were basically made for the peak periods. Is that still way too expensive? I mean, is that why they kick those turbines on at 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock, basically, to take care of that peak periods? Is it still, even though it's gas-fired, I mean, that seems to be the way things are headed towards natural gas, but is that still too expensive?
I'm not privy to that, so I wouldn't be able to.
I knew they always said it was expensive.
Our Mustang power plant is, when he was talking about being so old, our proposal we put before the commission was to replace it with gas-fired turbines at that same location. And the benefit of that was because we have all the infrastructure there right now, so it's the prime place to put another power generation to replace it. And of course it's closest to our largest load center, which is Oklahoma City. And it does work really well with peaking loads, like you're saying. Is now, OG&E does not control our own generation. We don't bring it on when we want to. That's up to the Southwest Power Pool. All the generation within the Southwest Power Pool, which is a 7-state region, is controlled by the Southwest Power Pool. And they tell you, you tell them how much you can produce power for, and they will bring on the most economical units in line. But those they do work great for peaking. So if you got the windmills to produce a lot of electric, and the wind quits blowing, you've got to make that up in a hurry. And those things, they can go from.
It's just like this.
They can go from not producing
basically
load to producing full load within 10 minutes.
I'm trying to think, but like at Mustang, you know, it's older, so it takes what, 6 to 8 hours? Is that right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've been in the control room there, and it's like, okay, baby, we're getting this thing started up, you know, and you know, they're like, let's go, you know, and the Southwest Power Pool's working, and you know, like Tim said, the gas fired. They call out to McLean or go to McLean's source, and they're like, hey, we need power in 10 minutes. We got this here, and they just fire them up. So.
I know at one time I'd seen where costs for like coal was say 5 cents
6 cents, somewhere in that neighborhood. Natural gas was pretty close the same. Solar was somewhere around 12 to 13, and wind was around 18, 19. Is that still about the same? You're talking about for generation to construct it? Yeah, coal's to construct it, coal's quite a bit more than natural gas. And, but the reason is it's just, there's a lot more equipment on the coal plant. But it wasn't that long ago, gas was about 6 times higher than coal to purchase. And it's about 50% of the fuel bill goes directly through the customers. So that's why OG&E was wanting to keep coal in our portfolio, because we didn't want to just put all of our generation in gas, because we all know how volatile gas prices can be. Right now, we're experiencing probably some of the lowest gas prices we have for quite some time, and you might get to thinking, hey, it's going to be this way forever. Look, we all know better than that. And so that's why we don't want to put it, we're going to keep coal in our portfolio. Solar power is coming down in cost quite a bit. I think it might have been the highest, actually, but it's coming down quite a bit. Wind is still pretty expensive. I think it's probably came down quite a bit. But whenever you can build a large generating facility all in one location, it's the cheapest way to do it. Still yet.
See, the side of Mustang, that area is so big that they have Mustang on. They're just going to go out. What the southwest was it? No, it was like the northwest corner, right? And then we're going to build that, start the new one. That's what they were, projecting. So
it didn't pass, or
no. So that's what the SmartHours. Tim, go ahead.
Now I was going to say, to the SmartHours deal, people have asked me, said, what's in it for OG&E?
Yeah.
Well, I said, really what it is, and these other energy, the weatherization program, why is OG&E doing that? I mean, it costs money. It was all to do with, the Corporation Commission, they regulate OG&E. They asked us for these programs. They asked us for these types of programs. We put them together, we put them out there. We're not going broke over the deal, but to put off building that new power plant as long as we can, that's saving the customers money. That's why the commission asked us to do it. So we put it out there, and honestly, it's the best deal it's a win-win for both the customers and OG&E. 99% of the people save money on the program, so it's worth doing. And like we said, is the first year you're guaranteed not to lose money on it. So if nothing else, sign up for it. Don't change one bit of your habits, and see if you save money. You'll save money, and the reason is because for 19 hours out of the day, you're going to pay 6 cents instead of 11 or 10 cents. Because right now, if you're not on it, you're paying 10 cents, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
If you get on it, you're going to be paying for 19 hours, you're going to pay 6 cents. And even though there's other 5 hours during the day, it can go up higher. Usually, that savings you get over those other hours offsets it, makes it, and you're kind of ahead.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim.
And as he mentioned, I mean, we have more literature up here, and then also, if you guys are interested, those of you who aren't on SmartHours, whether it be for your home or for your business, we have these forms up here that you can sign. And then what I'll do is I'll give this to the SmartHours group, and we'll have someone contact you to answer any questions that you may have, and set you up for an installation appointment. So I think that's about all the time we have today. Thank you guys for being so generous and open, and I'll give the floor back to